Listen, y'all, without further ado, I am so excited to bring back to the show again this amazing couple who literally decided to go on ahead and take it by storm. You guys do know I love it that they work in tandems. Marcella, she is that one that literally stands in front of you and literally is going to give you the awesome, wonderful truth behind land banking and all of its opportunities. The amazing thing is because they have literally set the bar high to say this is the goals that we want to reach because we really believe that we can help people and allow them to get to that next level, and especially when expanding their wealth. If you're looking or probably been on the fence with an opportunity, tonight is the show you want to catch because we are excited to bring back to the show for the second time our wonderful good friend that has changed our life. We welcome back Miss Marcella Silva to the Leverage Show, y'all.
Woo! Lambo! I am excited, enlightened, and empowered. Let me tell you, my friend. I am so excited to be here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. Shout outs especially to Ken and Joseph out there. It's great to have you guys on. Great to see you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing me back, Lambo.
Look, I know I had to go ahead and make sure that y'all were back on here because y'all left a lasting impression on our lives the last time that literally took us to another level. And we have been so excited and eager to hear how y'all have been doing, where your journey has been, what's been going on, but also you have been empowering so many people with the decision to help change their wealth and their family. So we can't wait to hear you from all that good stuff.
Yes. Yes to all. And I'm super excited to share.
Awesome. Well, that's what we want to hear. Well, tell us, Marcella, what have y'all been doing I know we had all those wonderful, crazy fires and all of that stuff. And you said, hey, Lambo, that didn't even affect me not one time. Talk to the people out there a little bit about things.
What has been going on? Well, something big that's really been happening in the world of land banking is the direct relationship with what's going on around emerging technologies like AI. Everyone hears everything about AI, right? I mean, it's like, you guys better be doing it, or I don't know, you're out of the picture, you're old, whatever the case may be. All things AI every day, all day. Well, here's the thing. So much land is needed for AI in ways that you guys probably don't even realize that it's absolutely mind-blowing. And we have been at the forefront of this. So that's kind of like one of the big new things that has happened since the last time we spoke, Drew. And just to give your audience some clarity on what the heck am I even talking about? Okay, so what is land banking? By definition, it is the practice of buying affordable, pre-developed land located in the path of growth. And Lambo, you offered me the opportunity to share.
You can share all you want, Marcella. Go ahead and share. Drop all those nuggets.
I'm going to share that. Yeah. So let me get that up real quick because it's definitely different than the Zoom. And here we go.
You navigate just well.
We got this. We're all good. I got Lambo in my corner. So land banking, the best kept secret in real estate, and honestly, the original investment on earth. As a matter of fact, the first multimillionaire in America created their wealth with land by doing exactly what I'm talking about. So let me show you guys a picture of what that looks like. That's the definition, but more specifically, what the heck is it? So this is a backdated Google Earth image of an area which is just down the street from where I live, Milpitas, California. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. And for those of you who live out here anywhere in California, or really anywhere, think of the area where you lived when you grew up. It's highly likely that area looks very different today than it did when you were a kid. There's probably a lot more developments, unless of course you live literally out in the middle of nowhere like a hermit. Well, then that's probably a whole different story. But so we want to invest in pre-developed high growth areas. Pre-developed means there's existing developments like you can see on this screen, existing infrastructure, which this is Highway 880 and 237 for those of you familiar with the San Francisco Bay Area. And then you might notice these roads here, like these yellow lines. This is where roads came in the future. These roads are not even there yet in this picture. This is when we want to buy land, 1,000 to 50,000 per acre, depending on zoning and location. Okay, now I'm going to click the button. Short 7 years later, look at the amount of development that's come into the area. Obviously, it's a high growth area. Now, here's a little secret for you guys out there. They're not making any more land. And it's an asset that everyone and everything uses. And when you own it in areas like this, high growth areas where development continues to come in, what's going to happen with the value of the land? Simple economics. Economics 101, supply and demand. Value goes up. $500,000 to $1 million per acre in this picture. Now you're looking at $2 to $7 million per acre in that picture. I actually know somebody who could have bought 10 acres of land in this picture for $10,000. Is a good friend of mine. And of course, he was much younger. I don't think he could have even been able to buy land. His family could have bought it, but he remembers seeing the sign. I know someone else who actually did buy that 10 acres of land for $10,000. Now there is a massive super target sitting on that land. That one property created generational wealth for that family. That's what land can do. Again, it is a easy, simple asset. It is the basis of all wealth and all real estate, and it's needed for everything. You can't replace it. You can't just go off to Costco and find another piece of land. There's only so much more of it. Now, this is an example of what land banking is, but there's so many uses for land and things that people are not even aware of. For example, here's another picture, before and after. That's Rancho Cucamonga. The largest land rush in history is happening right now, all for our energy needs. And it is mandated by law, by countries, states, local municipalities, corporations across the globe. And it is past the tipping point, and it has been for several years, meaning that the solar energy that you see there, this is a massive utility scale solar project. That takes a lot of land. That particular project is 3 square miles by itself. It was partially funded by Google. Anyways, the amount of land that's needed for this, there's not enough land to make it happen. And there's mandates that are pushing it forward at a massive pace. Already the area where we're investing, over $100 billion has been invested there in the past, I would say about 14 years. That's really when it started to unfold. And what hits that tipping point was the cost. It's cheap. It's the cheapest form of electricity in history. It's scalable. It's easy to install, and it's green. So it's helping the globe meet their overall goal of being a net zero economy by the year 2050, so that, hey, our kids have some sort of chance to live in a healthy and clean environment. And that's the goal there. So I mentioned about artificial intelligence. Well, AI, the amount of land that AI is consuming, not only for huge factories, right? You need the massive buildings to house all these big data centers. Well, those data centers require a tremendous amount of electricity. I'm going to stop sharing right now, because for you guys who want to get like the super details, you got to watch my webinar. I go into all the details. However, imagine this. In less than 2 years, from the beginning of 2023 to November of 2024, the amount of AI data centers that came in just that short 2-year period consumed enough electricity to power 20 million homes. That is massive. They're saying by the year 2030, they're estimating that AI will consume as much electricity as all of the households in America combined. And we happen to be investing in the number one area for these solar projects, not just in California, but in the entire United States, if not the world. There are international companies moving like Abu Dhabi. They're an oil state, right? That's how they created their wealth in the United Arab Emirates, from oil. And now they're investing millions, or even in some cases billions of dollars in solar projects in California. Why? Or another company, Duke Energy, look them up. They've been around since the early 1900s, making money from energy. Well, what are they doing? Investing millions of dollars in land for massive solar projects in California. Why? So when you understand the economics, the laws, and you put together all of the different puzzle pieces like the emerging technologies, another big one is electric vehicles. Did you know that this year, 1 in 4 cars sold so far are electric vehicles? So where's all that energy going to come from? It's impossible to be able to power it all with fossil fuels. Not to mention, what would that do to our environment? It's a pretty scary situation. Now, yes, you've probably seen headlines of some current people in office who are trying to stop this. They were also in office when this was happening 5 years ago. Imagine someone standing in front of a massive wave trying to stop that wave. It's not going to happen. They might slow it down a little bit for a little bit of time, but when you look at all the pieces, this is not something that's stopping. People have not spent, like I said, over $100 billion and continue to spend there. Companies, corporations, the cities, counties, the state, international companies, for no reason. And this is, in my opinion, the way that we truly will become energy independent. And if we don't do this, we're going to fall way behind other countries like China. China happens to be the #1 country in the world for alternative energy. They've installed so much alternative energy that they are actually reversing their CO2 levels in China. And China has always been a huge polluter, right? All of the coal and stuff. Oh, speaking of coal, in March of this year, we have created enough alternative energy to surpass coal this year. They say, according to the International Energy Agency, by either this year or next year, alternative energy will create enough energy to surpass natural gas. That's the next one. And so it's been steadily increasing, so much so to the tune of $1 billion per day is being spent globally and has been for the past couple years just on new solar energy projects. And some of the #1 states in America for these projects, not just California, but they are red states. The next one down is Texas. They're all about oil, but they're implementing solar and wind because it's cheaper. They need the energy, especially as we all, love to do all things online. We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for electricity. This little phone is worthless without electricity. Same with everything that we use, right? So electricity is a fundamental resource that we all use every day. And what's the fundamental asset that we all use every day? My home is sitting on top of what? Dirt. And again, they're not making any more of it. And for all you smarties out there, yeah, I know you could go have a lava flow. Good luck with that. That's not realistic. So dirt in the right areas just continues to go up in value. It's been phenomenal. Some of our investors are getting huge long-term land leases where they're leasing their land for 25, 35, upwards of 45 years. Like their land leases will literally outlive them. And some of these land leases are to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Who wouldn't want that? By selling energy, by owning the land that solar projects need to sell their energy to all the companies. So that's a little bit about what's been going on, Lambo. Any specific questions?
That's a whole, what you talking about? That's a whole lot of what's been going on.
That's a whole lot of what's been going on.
You know, I literally, when we actually, and I think that when most people first seen those charts, and I know Rick put in there that, hey, those first 3 slides of land went for $5,000 per acre to over $1 million per acre in just those 3 slides, right?
Yes.
So we look at the value of what land is in certain different areas, especially in California where you guys are at.
Yes. Yes. And even more so, what's very interesting about where California is located. It's located on the Pacific coast.
Yeah.
It's the gateway to the Pacific. And what's happening in the Pacific? All kinds of goods movement, right? Mm-hmm. So about over 35% of all goods coming into the US is coming through California. Well, guess what? Those goods, they arrive at the ports. They don't stay at the ports. They have to go into massive distribution facilities.
Wow.
And then from there, they get shipped out. And so the oh my gosh, the industrial real estate has been mind-blowing how fast it's happened. And what sped it up is the Amazon effect, right? Yeah. Drew, you buy stuff on Amazon?
I think we all do. We even have the Amazon team on here, Julie and Jeremiah Crafton. They're the Amazon.
Well, shout out to the Amazon team. We all love Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I can order all day, any day without leaving my couch, and it shows up at my door. Yeah. Love it. The number one vehicle on my street is Amazon. Oh, and by the way, it's an electric vehicle. And by the way, that needs a lot of electricity. Oh, and by the way, that distribution facility has to be charged by alternative energy as well as all the cars. So, oh, and by the way, all the people who work there need houses.
Yeah. Yep.
It goes on and on and on. So
we look at the infrastructure of that. Let's just say, just speaking on just Amazon, but seeing where you guys are actually positioning people to really invest in like dirt, to really invest in land. The potential, you guys are not just investing in any land. Mm-hmm. You guys got to remember, like this is thought out, really scouted land that is literally going to be developmental, right? Because there's a lot of land that's not developmental. What is that ratio of the land that's development, that can be developed, minus the land that can't be developed? Myself.
Oh gosh, I couldn't tell you those numbers, but I can tell you as of a 1998 UC Berkeley study that took inventory of all the land in California, they determined at that time there was only 2 million acres of land left to be developed, which is only 2% of California's land. So that right there is the reason why California real estate is so expensive. It has nothing to do with the house, the structure. That's not it. It's the dirt underneath it. So like, you know, if I Wizard of Oz this house to Ohio, it's going to be worth a lot less there than it is here.
Yeah.
Because according to the Lincoln Land Institute, over 60% of the value of a house or a building in California is the dirt itself. That's why people will literally pay over $1 million for a burnt down house here in California. Because it's the land, the value, which is very limited. And so you're right. You can't just buy any land anywhere. I can go driving down, you know, the freeway, heading out to Las Vegas or whatever. I'll see a bunch of land for sale for super cheap.
Yeah.
Well, what people don't know is that that land is not developable.
Yes.
For various different reasons. So that is a super critical piece to what we do. And so the company that I've been working with has been doing this for 46 years. is doing the research to determine where are the high growth areas. And then on top of that, what's the good land there? Because two pieces of land next to each other could be worlds apart in value.
Yeah. Yeah. Rick is showing saying land scarcity slides, Marcella. What?
Oh, I have so many slides. But yeah, I mean, it's basically what I just said. Only 2% is left of California. And when I have another more information that shows how much land they are estimated is needed just for green energy. And it's more than 3 times as much land is actually available in the right areas, in the areas where the sun is intense, where the infrastructure has been put there, right? Anyone could say, oh, I have some land, I want to put a solar project. Okay, do you have high tension power lines that cost millions of dollars right by your land?
Yeah.
No. It doesn't have the right sun exposure. Like, there's so much that goes behind it. And it's very different than traditional real estate. So yeah, you really got to know what you're doing.
So, and I think that was the biggest thing. I actually had a lady, I know she's watching. She says, Lambo, can you actually get funding or take a loan against land? And I said, yeah, it's possible. I'm pretty sure it's possible. They do it all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, land is an asset, right?
Yeah.
An asset on your balance sheet. So that's what it is. Now, to buy land with us, there is no financing for it. So typically, to get financing for land, you have to develop it. Yeah. And let me tell you, Lambo, I have zero interest in being a developer. Hassles, headaches, employees, so many different things. I know. I'm a lazy investor, okay? I want my money to work for me while I'm out living my life. We were talking about vacation earlier. Yes. I want to go on vacation and have my dirt working for me.
Right.
Without me doing anything for it. So that's what land banking is about. It's just buying the right land in the right areas. And when these developments come in, they need that land.
Yeah. They need all of that land and then some, because I know a lot of people, when they're actually in there and they're saying to themselves, it's like, man, I really desire to actually get into land, but I want to know, is my money going to be safe? What is like, and let's just say an overall, crazy worst case scenario happens, right? You said something that I thought was so significant, and we talked about this before the show. If a fire was to break out, is the land ruined like it would be if there was a building on the land? Talk about that for investors who, I know California just had a lot of fires out there, and a lot of people are saying, I don't know. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So first of all, those fires are not anywhere near our land and didn't affect us in any sort of way. And think about it. You own dirt. Fire comes on it, all the brush is gone. It cleared off the land, literally. There's a flood, which rarely happens. There's something called the 100-year flood in California that, whatever, doesn't matter. We're not worried about that. Flood goes on. It's there, and then it's gone. It doesn't matter. It's just dirt. That's the beauty of land banking. It's an easy investment that you don't have to put time and effort in. There's no tenants, toilets, and termites. So one of the velour agents like myself, I'll share this story. She had been married, and then she got divorced, and then she had this house, right? She had this house she was living in Southern California. And she was like, I don't know how to swing a hammer. I'm not about to go fix things in the house. Not doing it. She has been land banking for about 20 years now. So she's been doing it herself, just like myself. By the way, I personally own over 4.5 million square feet of land personally. So I put my money where my mouth is. So she's, we're in the middle of what's going on. We're seeing this on a daily basis. She decides, well, I don't want to deal with this house, right? The property taxes, the insurance keeps going up. It's ridiculous. By the way, you don't need insurance for land. I don't want to deal with this house anymore. I'm going to sell it and buy land instead. So that's what she did. She sold her property, bought a bunch of pieces of land, multiple parcels. One of those parcels happens to be an 80-acre parcel. And she just signed a land lease on this property for a solar company to come out and put solar panels on their land. And she is leasing the land. So kicking back, she just went to Africa for like 3 weeks because she has her land paying for her to do everything. She's making over $320,000 a year plus interest, which escalates over time. And it's a 35-year land lease. And in the end, she owns the land. Like, what? Who doesn't want that? And it's guaranteed because these power companies do power purchase agreements. Yes, thank you, Rick. She paid about $500,000. Actually, I think it was a little less than $500,000 for that property. So phenomenal return. So that's land leases. I have another investor. She's been investing with me for about 10 years now. And one of her properties she bought 5 years ago for $80,000. We just helped her to negotiate and she got a return. So she didn't lease the property. She sold it directly to the developer for $900,000. She's never even set foot on this property. Doesn't need to. It's dirt. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like I said, I own several parcels of land. I've only seen about half of them in person. And I don't need to because the company that I work with, they do all of the research on these properties to make sure that you get the highest and best properties in the right areas. So all of the potential risks that come along with land, and there are many of them, our company mitigates those risks for our investors. So that's where we position ourselves in, is we're doing all of the research to determine what are the right areas that are high growth for all the different things we were talking about. And then what is the right land in those high growth areas, making sure that there's no issues with it. For example, if you buy a piece of land and there's a red-legged toad on it, you wouldn't buy it from Velour, first of all, from our company. But if you bought that, then sorry, you're out of luck because that little guy has more rights than you do. So there's a lot of risks that are associated with land, but our company removes those risks. The risk that we cannot control is actually the investor themselves. And what do I mean by that? We want people going into this understanding it's a long-term investment. It's through the natural growth and progression of an area. It doesn't happen overnight. Have I had investors get amazing returns within less than a year? Yes, but that's not typical. This is a long-term investment. So we want people to use long-term patient funds. Like I have probably 80% of my clients use old 401ks and self-directed IRAs to invest, people who inherit money. This is also a wonderful opportunity for 1031 exchanges. So I have several investors who they've accumulated multiple rental properties because the idea was cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. Well, then now they're stuck with all these rental properties and they're driving them crazy because of what I call the 4 T's, tenants, toilets, troubles, and taxes. Oh, and let's not forget insurance, right? And so and on top of it, a lot of these rental properties that people buy, especially in states that are much more affordable, they've kind of reached their highest level of where they're going to go as far as appreciation. And what I've noticed is most people make their most money with rentals when they sell the land because it appreciated over time. Well, the appreciation on land far exceeds what their appreciation on homes and buildings does, from what I have personally seen. Like one of my properties, as an example, I bought it for, here, let me show you guys this one so you can see what I'm talking about here. So let me see. There we go. So this is a Google Earth image for a property that my husband and I bought in 2014. We bought this property for $92,000. And you see this little yellow pin right here? This is actually where the property is located. So you can see, look at all the brown around this area, right? A lot of land available. So this is exactly what I was talking about, the pre-developed area. There's existing developments there, but there's still available land. We bought this property for $1.13 per square foot, or $92,000, 2014. We have received many offers in the meantime. The latest offer we received was for $600,000. We decided not to sell because we knew what was happening here. So this is our own choice. We're not going to sell this property because we know we could get more in the future. And, you know, some of people's biggest mistakes is selling too soon. Don't become a land don't wanter, because let me tell you, if you look it up in the IRS code about land, you cannot depreciate land. Why? Because the values doesn't go down, especially in areas like this. So I'm going to click the button. You're going to see what happened. So this is before, when we bought the property, and now. Before, now. Now land is selling for over $30 per square foot. 30x. Who does 30x with a house? This is what happened. And it's funny because the other day I ordered something online. I love the online shopping, right? And it comes to me and it says, oh, Markham Street address. And I was like, hold on a second. That's just down the road from my property. It literally came from this building right here, which came in the past 10 years. So this is what happens when you buy land in the right areas, but you have to be patient. That's the biggest key. If you're not patient and you like the ups and downs, then hey, there's all kinds of, stock market, crypto opportunities. Have at it. But you know what? There's something called a balanced portfolio. You can talk to Joe about it, right? Joseph. There's multiple buckets that you should have. And the long-term wealth creation, buy land with it. You keep that money growing. You keep that money in the family. Where do you think the word landlord came from? So this is an example of what land can do, of what it's done for me. And this is, again, just one of many properties that I own. Right now, we're currently in negotiations actually for a long-term land lease on one of our solar projects, which is with a company from France contacting me in California to buy my land. That's what land can do.
Did you just say a company contacting you from France to buy your land in California?
Exactly. Yes. And they've already bought thousands of acres of land and has already installed thousands of acres of solar fields. Why is France coming to California?
France, they know that dirt is gold in California. That's what France knows.
Exactly. And they know the law. California law says by the year 2045, 100% of our energy must come from alternative energy sources. 100%.
Yes. Wow.
It's in the books. Like, law is this. How do we make it happen? We need dirt.
Literally, I'm sitting in here just like, blown away, first of all, because we have so much, and I'm going to get to the comments in a minute, we have so many people who are just like, Lambo, this is like next level of what we've been thinking about, where to park our money, but seeing this and literally watching what these slides, and I know hubby Rick is in the back, man, he's actually pumping things up. He's fanning the flame at this point. Shout out to you, Rickster. I see you, man.
Next time we'll have him on here.
Well, soon we're going to have Rickster on here. He's fanning the flame. It just makes us realize, especially in certain places where we may have thought that we were parking money with wisdom. But literally, we've been parking money thinking that this is going to make money. Hey, if you buy land, we're going to make money. But like I said, if it's not inhabitable and it is not developmentable, like what it is now, literally at this point, you're wasting your money. We need to be putting the dollars where the dollars are going to put their dollars at, right?
Right. I want to be where the billionaires are going.
Yeah.
I have a property right next to Warren Buffett's solar project that is 9 square miles large. 9 square miles. That's like the size of some towns, cities.
So you guys are got land right next to Warren Buffett's land?
Right next to Warren Buffett. Yes. And Google. Here's another good one for you. We had a Google executive who bought land from us, and his property was actually purchased by the solar company that was being funded by Google. Not that Google knew that he owned the property. It was just like divine right, connection there.
See, this is what we talk about, empowerment, in knowing exactly what to purchase and what's really a gold mine and what's not, that you guys are like foolishly spending or maybe probably scared to really spend. Because I tell people money all the time. Stale money is funeral money.
Yeah.
Stale money is funeral. Exactly. Stale money is funeral money. If you have money sitting around somewhere and it's not making money for you, I promise you it's funeral money. It will decrease. It will go down in value. Stuff will just happen just for no reason. You need to put your money to work for you. You need to put your investments to work for you. If not, you're going to be trying to figure out ways to work for it.
Right.
Period.
Here's another good one. People, I'm going to put money in gold. So those two before and after pictures I showed you of my property, I looked at gold at that same time period. It was barely keeping up with inflation. We're talking about maybe 4% a year. Land has always beat inflation.
If land is beating inflation, we want to be on that side, right, Marcella? You would say?
I think I do. I know I do. I don't know about everyone else.
I'm just saying. I mean, for those and everything, man, if you out there, you're thinking like I got, I'm just going to stick to my old 401k and that be that. That's fine. Shout out to my guy, Dan, in the building. He says 401ks are a good way to do long-term investments. Yeah, they are.
100%. That's actually what I did with when I very first found this opportunity. Yeah. I was sitting at my kitchen table, Lambo, looking at my 401k statement, thinking to myself, the only way this goes up is when I put money into it. I'm never going to be able to retire at this rate. I have to do something different. And that's what started me on the journey to find something.
Literally, I tell everybody right now, when I learned, and this is a little insider for those, when I learned how much a 401k should be worth over a 30-year period of time to what the actual investors or your financial advisors, no shots thrown if you're a financial advisor out there. I know I got a few friends, but how much they made over that 30-year term of 401k to how much the investor actually made, I literally said to myself, there is no way that this at all can even be right. There's no way.
Right.
There's no way. Most financial investors who put you guys into a mutual fund 401k will literally, out of the life of that 401k, 10 times make about 4 to 5 times what you will ever make in that 401k.
And they're making when you're losing.
They're making when you're losing. Even when the market's going down, they still take their chunk out.
Here's another one for you. Added bonus. I was sitting with a financial advisor, right? And I asked him, I said, it was kind of like around the 2009, 2008, 2009 timeframe. I was asking him, how his investors did. Oh, well, it doesn't look like they did too bad because we factor in the amount of money that they're putting in as part of their ROI. I was like,
yeah.
How is that okay?
Yeah.
I can't believe you're telling me that.
Yeah. Yeah. But what that tells you is you have to learn to invest with the right team around you. And what you're saying to everyone out there is, Marcella, you and Rick are the right team. If you really want to invest, hearing the stories where people turn 80,000 into like $1 million within just a short period of time, and then hearing and everything, man, that somebody took 500,000 and now here they go. It's millions of dollars later with over $300,000 a year.
Right. She got her initial investment back in less than 2 years.
That's insane to even hear about that. And this is what the people really wanted to hear. Like, give us the real numbers if we do decide to continuously to invest. Like, we got real numbers. We have real potential that we can really see. Show us where we can really go if we really can invest with just land. I'm not even talking about a building on the land. Show us where we can go with just land in the right places.
Yeah. Well, so just so people are aware, minimum investment, you don't have to be rich for this. 25,000.
Whoa. Time out. There's no way you have $25,000 land in California. I can turn my TV off right now. Turn the podcast, end the podcast. You and Rick, I'll see y'all in California sometime in the winter.
Stop. I know, right? I know.
Nobody's purchasing $25,000 land in California.
Yes, they are. Let me tell you. Minimum 25 grand. My bonus son, 19 years old, bought his first property. He owns 5 acres in the largest land rush in California's history. 19.
19. Shucks. I remember what Lambo was doing. I remember what I was doing at 19. And I can tell you what, there was no land involved in what I was doing at 19. I know a lot of us. I can't speak for everybody else. Damn, we're just going to keep 100 with y'all. I literally had a party going on at 19. It was party years at that point. So at 19 to hear that he is literally creating wealth for the longevity of himself is amazing.
I know. I'm like so impressed, and I think it's because he sees us and what we're doing, and we don't hide our financial situation. You got to talk to the younger generation and educate them and let them know, be that rich dad, not the poor dad.
Yeah. And that's what I love it because, shout out to Rick for saying this. The investment range, when people actually honestly say, hey, when you say 25,000, I mean, that's a credit card. People get 25, it's a credit card, $25,000 approval on the credit card. If somebody is doing funding, and if you need help with funding, Lambo can help y'all with that. I got me and my team. We can take care of business with y'all for that. So don't nobody say you can't get a hold of $25,000. That's a lie, especially if you're watching the show. So 25,000 to the $2 million range. If someone is looking to park and says, hey man, I've got an extra 25,000 that I would love to go ahead and see this thing grow, they can get started with you guys.
Yeah, they can get started with us. 25,000. We've had several people who have these. They're going to be a smaller property, obviously, and it's in the areas where all these green energy projects are going. But I've seen those smaller properties selling for as little as 125,000, all the way up to over 200,000. Imagine. Rick and we bought a little property several years ago. It was only $8,900. And now land there, how much did that work out to? Like, I don't know, 4,000 an acre or less then. And now land nearby is selling anywhere from 50,000 all the way over to 150,000 an acre.
In other words, gold is not going that high, y'all. For those who park your money in gold, we always hear that. Just park your money in gold, let it be that. Gold is not going that high. What land banking is actually doing, but strategic land banking. I got some people, get in the land banking, and I said, nah, you don't want swamp water land banking. I mean, because there's very strategic thing. It's a strategy behind this, right?
Yeah. there's big strategy behind it. There's a lot of research that goes behind it, correlation, data analysis, relationships. I mean, like I said, the company's been doing this for 46 years. Wow. The type of experience that you have behind you with our company you can't find that anywhere. For land, you can't find that anywhere.
That alone
So
is worth the price of admission for you guys
it really is.
into the
It
show.
really
You know,
is.
Rick says yes. Show us Paris. Did you show us? Pull
Yeah,
up.
I did. That's our Paris property, the before and after picture I showed
Okay.
you guys. But like I said, I bought it I didn't show all the details. Here, I'll show some more details because people like to see some stuff. So we'll show
No,
you.
people, listen. The old saying says documentation beats conversation any day, right?
Sure thing. Sure thing.
So at this
We'll
point,
do it.
yeah, we got to do it. We can't.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Okay, Rick, we'll do it.
Go ahead.
So this was the property, and actually let me back it up to show you like from the beginning. So we bought the property $1.15 per square foot, 1.84 acres. This is called a plat map. So every property comes with this, which shows, the important details of the location and stuff. I'm not going to get into all of it. Long story short, this is the property, this little black square right here. So I don't need to own 100 acres of land. I just need a piece that is in the way of development. And let me tell you, Lambo, and all you folks out there, that is a very powerful position to be in because you're in their way. They need your land. And like I said, they can't just hop off to Costco and buy another piece of land. There's only so much of it available in these areas with the right zonings, etc. So speaking of zonings, the zoning is light industrial like distribution centers, warehouse centers, Amazon facilities, all those things. So bought it November 2014. We got an offer May 2015, so 6 months later for $126,000. They were calling us. We were in Hawaii actually at the time with some of our investors, and we're like, "Oh, that's cool. We're not going to sell it, but hey, that's cool." We didn't even get back to them because, hey, like I said before, land, the longer you hold it, the more it's worth. So don't make the mistake of selling too soon. And unfortunately, I've had people who sold too soon, but hey, everybody has their own thing. So who am I to judge? Anyways, March 2017 rolls around and this company, IDI Gaisley, they are a industrial developer, contacts us. They want to buy the property for $365,000. Okay, Drew, I have never seen this property. I have done nothing but simply pay property taxes, which are very low, by the way, no more than 1.3% of the purchase price, because all of our properties are under what's called Proposition 13. So it keeps the property taxes very low. That's the holding cost. $365,000, cool. By the way, never accept the first offer. They can always go higher. And part of what our company does is help our investors to negotiate to get the highest and best price. So we, give you the details and the information and tell you what to say, all the things. I won't get into all of that. But anyways, we contact them back. Thank you, but no thank you. Oh, and by the way, what are you doing? So they sent us all kinds of drawings and information. They were going to build a huge industrial center. I'm not going to get into those details either. We're going to keep it simple here. Next offer. So March 13th, April 19th, $500,950 for doing nothing but saying no. I'll take that all day long. Again, we were like, okay, that's cool, but yeah, we're not going to sell it that either. Next offer, less than a month later, $600,000. Who doesn't want to make $100,000 for a 5-minute phone call? That's literally how much that was. So we had the opportunity to sell at that point, $7.52 per square foot, 652% in 2 years. I think that definitely outdoes gold. And no, we decided not to sell. I didn't want to. Why? Because I knew other investors in the area were getting higher offers, as high as like $15 per square foot. So I was like, no, I don't want to sell. I'm not interested. And I also understood the economics behind what was happening. Speaking of economics, we only invest in California. Why? It is the 4th largest economy in the world. Let that sink in. 4th largest economy compared to nations. 4th largest economy in the world. Okay. So no, we didn't sell it. Again, here's our property. I'm so happy we didn't sell it because, again, this is what happened, right? Before, after. The amount of development and growth that's come in has pushed the value significantly higher. So here's some other properties that some of our investors purchased. 1.23 acres. This is just to the south of our property. So our property is right here where my mouse is. And then their property, sorry, this isn't the greatest picture, but it is what it is. They bought this property in 2010 for $158,000, 1.23 acres. They sold it. Here's mine. Here's theirs. This is less than half a mile away. They sold it in 2023 for $1.5 million or $27.99 per square foot. Here's another one. Less than an acre of land. Okay, this funky little shaped property right here looks like a little boot. Bought it for $65,000 and they sold it 23, sorry, for $1,025,000 or $31.37 per square foot. That's where those properties were. That's where my property is. This property right here actually was owned by another agent like myself. So she used to be a big time real estate agent in Southern California, bought a bunch of rental properties, got sick and tired of all those things we were talking about, the 4 T's, and started selling them off and doing a 1031 exchange into land. So she bought this property, I want to say it was like 2005 for $400,000. I know it was $400,000. This is the property. It's 300 feet away from mine. She just sold it last year, actually, for $35 per square foot. $35. I bought mine for $1.15. At $35 per square foot, that's $2.8 million for us. So Rick, you wanted me to show our property. This is an example of one of the many properties we have. We were just on the phone with the owner of our company last week talking about some of our other properties. We didn't even mention this one because we already know this one's amazing. There's another one that we have. He was like, oh my gosh, that one, you guys could retire off of just that one parcel of land because of what people are getting in that particular area. We'll save those details for the webinar that you all are going to hop onto. So I'll put in the chat how you guys can get more details, learn all the things, more about our company, the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, you name it.
The fire Lambo Bell emoji just went off at that point because what you just did was dynamic. Again, documentation beats conversation any day, and that literally brings you to a place where most people are like, yeah, no, I'm more comfortable investing in this style. We're here to help make that people are really getting that next level and are really being able to say, I can see the vision, Lambo. I see why you sent the link out. I see why individually he was like, you don't want to miss this. This is going to be next level. And even for those who probably seen it and probably were on the fence last time, it was like, well, that probably was a little bit of time ago. I don't know if they're still relevant. Oh, no, they're still relevant. They're still out here killing it. And they are still out here really making millions behind what they are actually standing on. I'm telling you this right now. That's next level. That's you want the lottery? This is the lottery.
This is the lottery. I know. And then, like, so many examples. And here's the thing. Is it still relevant? When has land not been relevant?
Come on now. Come on now. Give me a good time. Let me know.
I know, right? Like, what?
Yeah, let me know. People are still, they're fighting. I hate to say this right now. We have wars overseas where people are fighting for land right now and been fighting for centuries.
Are people fighting wars over cryptocurrency?
Exactly. So I'm telling y'all this right now. You have the real receipts. And that's one thing that you always going to hear Lambo always talk about is the power of transparency, right?
Mm-hmm.
The power of what you just showed literally outbeats what most people are saying just having a conversation. I have been on Zoom calls where a person talked in circles about nothing. And I said, what are you doing on a Zoom call talking about anything when you have real life people who have real life decisions that they're making so that they can have a better future? They can actually set up their kids and their grandkids and people behind them and their neighbors and their friends
Right.
and share the opportunity with so many people. The coolest part about this is that I'm getting ready to tell some of y'all out there who probably don't even know how this works. You may not possibly have, and if you don't, you may be in that position. 25K, 50K, 100K to start with. You sharing this opportunity to someone who does and literally has maybe a little bit of capital or a large amount of capital to jump in. Some of you don't know how life-changing this is. Me and Marcella was actually talking about right before the show how literally she was traveling around the world where some of her top affiliates, well, mainly the big one of her top affiliate. What places did that top affiliate go from just sharing the opportunity? For those out there who are probably asking that, because I know they want to jump on that webinar, but for those who are probably asking, what places did you take them, Marcella?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's one thing I love about our company is we take all our top people, so top sales folks like myself, top investors, top referral partners. I've taken one of my top referral partners around the world 5 times. This year we're going to Scotland. Last year we went from Bucharest to Budapest. The year before that we were in Tahiti. The year before that we were in the south of France. Like we're living the lifestyle. And we're making money while we're doing it. I'm making money while I sleep. I don't have to do anything with my dirt. It's doing it for me because of the brilliance behind our company and how they do it. So for those of you, hey, love the idea, maybe want to share it, we pay wonderful referral fees. So if you're interested in being a referral partner with us, we'd love to talk to you. Just reach out to us. You can go to dirtisgold.com and go directly on there and watch our land banking webinar to learn more about that. And then we have a referral program that my husband, he's the one who trains my referral partner. So Ken Haney, in the very beginning, he was talking about how Rick is an amazing trainer. Well, Ken Haney and Joseph Ford both went through our referral partner training and paying them money. So if you send us enough referrals, you're not only are you going to be making money, but you're also going to potentially be going on a trip with us around the world somewhere. So we can always talk more about all of those details. And the best part is you just share the opportunity. Someone invests, you got mailbox money coming in without doing any effort, like no efforting at all. And a lot of my investors end up buying multiple properties. And so every property they buy, we're paying you money. My goal every year is to see how much money I can pay out to my referral partners. It's not about how much money I make, but if I'm paying out people, they're happy, their investors are happy, everyone's making money, life is good, traveling the world. You know what? This is everyone's opportunity. Be generation 1. You don't have to be from the wealthy family. You create your own wealth. And it's all a mindset, right? You want to believe it's possible, then it's possible. And land can definitely do that for people. So I'm excited. Oh, one other thing too. This is like the opportunity. Everyone grew up like, oh, I wish my family owned an oil well. Who doesn't wish they owned an oil well? Well, guess what? This is the new age oil well. But instead of oil, it's green energy. You're getting tons of money from it. Yes. Yes, please.
You say less, yes, please. I literally heard on the other side of that, check, please. Hey, for somebody over there, I'm telling you, this is very, very lucrative for those and everything out there who are sharing this opportunity. And this is something where you guys can really help develop and hone in on really allowing people to really gain something long-term off of this, right?
Yep.
J Ford X is a great question. Questions a scenario where the land has precious minerals like gold or oil, etc., how much does that impact the value of the land?
So that's not something we get into. We're not into what's underneath the land. We're into what's going to happen on top of the land. And that's where the value of the land is here in California, is on top of it. There was a huge land rush a long time ago, the gold rush, right?
Yeah.
We're not into doing a gold rush here. The real gold is the value of the space, because space is limited. And then the value of the electricity that's going to be created on that space. Like, that's huge. And that keeps increasing by significant amounts because of, like I said, all those emerging technologies, right?
Yeah.
But here's another one, robotics. That's going to start taking over people's jobs in a big way.
Yeah.
So how's that all going to get powered? And, how are people going to continue to make money? So many things.
Too many things. Rick had already said nowhere we invest, but Marcella can expand, and she did do that. Expound, I think. Shout out to you. We got you, Rickster. Dan says, remember to smash that like button on this video to help Lambo out. Yes, hit that algorithm up. Lambo Drew TMT, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell so we can go ahead and continue to keep these numbers up, but growing the community and helping so many people who would love to invest with Marcella and Rick in this amazing opportunity. Like I said, this is only the intro for the webinar. There's more details in the webinar, so you guys want to check that webinar out. And I do have that link, and I'm getting ready to share that in just one moment. J Ford said that's powerful. Yes, it is. All the information that they're sharing and then the documentation behind it literally makes you want to go on ahead and take advantage of this opportunity. So for some of y'all out there, definitely take advantage because it's something else. Thanks for the shout out, Lambo, man. Hey, appreciate you, Dan. You already know Dan's in the real estate really big too out there on the East Coast. So in the DMV area, shout out to my guy Dan for popping on here. So he knows his stuff when it comes to real estate. Pretty sure it would be a phone booth in California.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to you. J Ford says, wow, hers is 17 million. Wow, in value. You 17 million in value? What? 17
million. I think he's talking about that property that sold next to mine. The lady, she sold it for the total was 17 million. So she sold it for $35 per square foot.
Yeah.
And yeah, she bought it for 400,000, sold it for 17 million. And she's been turning down offers for years. Not going to sell it, not going to sell it, not going to sell it, not going to sell it. They're like hardcore, not going to sell it.
There was a song back in the day. I mean, a song not back in the day, but just a few years ago saying, I'm getting A-Rap money. I'm getting A-Rap money. Rickster, what's up, Rick?
So some of it I'm putting in comments that are coming up 20 minutes later, but the property that the lady bought for 405, she sold that's 660 feet away from ours for 17 million. And when you take the price per foot, that's how we know ours went from 92,000 to 2.67 million. That's how we know, because we're tracking it all.
Yeah, wow. $35 per square foot.
And I'm out of breath because I just ran upstairs.
Yeah. Well, I actually told them when you were you missed it.
Yeah, there was one other comment. The phone booth comment. What he was talking about was he's pretty sure the 25,000 could only buy a phone booth.
Oh,
that's what it meant. But we don't invest like in LA County proper where the buildings are. 25,000. I always say you could get the door of a doghouse for 25,000. But
yeah,
where we're investing out where the solar fields are, there still is affordable land for 25,000. We sell them like putting a diamond in a gumball machine. The gumballs pop out. We can get 25s all day long. So,
wow. In California, that's the mind blowing part about it. Not just that
the hardest part about doing these is if you see the presentation first, the webinar, and then hear what Marcella's saying, it makes a lot more sense. Which I highly recommend you guys check out that 1 hour webinar because it explains a lot. And then after that, you could get on one-on-one with the millionaire maker. But I'm gonna go so she can finish up. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure seeing you, Rickster.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, buddy. That's my guy right there, Rickster, making his wonderful, just a shout out right here on the Leverage Show. I love that. This is what it's about. Errol said I was going to break the bell. Yes, I probably was. Land sounds better than dealing with tenants, trash, and termites. Yes.
Oh, yeah, the trash, that's a new one. I'll have to add that on there.
I'm trying to tell you this right now. PC says this is good information. Yes, it has been. Well, amazing, great information, man, on here. And Joseph, yeah, they actually trained Joseph and Ken for actually going ahead and being some amazing referrals in this webinar. Y'all guys want to definitely get to that webinar. J4 say, let's go. And Dan say 100%. Rick is the man. Yes, he is. Rick is definitely the man. And shout out to Rick for everything that he has truly done, man. And just always showing love, connecting people, but people who are knowing Marcella and Rick behind closed doors, even outside of this webinar, can tell you they are 100% authentic and just an amazing team to work with. You know, so
people call us the power couple.
you guys are the power couple and then some. I don't even want to hear that. Well, everyone, this is that link to that webinar for all those who really want to attend and want to learn more about it. It's literally on the screen, right? dirtisgold.com/referred webinar / okay? So I'm thinking that's it, right? /
/ yeah, referred webinar. Yeah, that'll get you there. Or just go to dirtisgold.com. That'll get you there too.
Yeah.
You got a few extra clicks, but this will take you right to it.
All right. Well, we want this. We want to get y'all there. So it's on the screen. Make sure you guys copy that. Put that right there in your space bar. And make sure that you guys are putting that in there. dirtisgold.com /referred webinar / You guys don't want to miss that opportunity. It's an hour-long webinar, you said?
Yeah, it's about an hour.
Okay.
So much information.
So I'm telling y'all, this is a no-brainer. If y'all think that this was something of magic and everything, man, of what the webinar and then connecting with Marcella and Rick is going to look like, especially helping shape your future, especially shaping many other futures around you for sharing this amazing opportunity. You do not want to miss this because it's going to be amazing. Marcella, we really want to thank you and Rick today just for coming back to this Leverage Show and then showing so much transparency, especially hearing where you guys are today and then hearing the affiliates, getting to travel with y'all was just another amazing thing of hearing that as well. You already did one Lambo over. Who is this cute heart right here?
That's Cookie. She's like, Mommy, where's my dinner?
Cookie, what's up, Cookie? Look, Cookie, I got you covered. Cookie. Don't worry about it. You come over to Lambo's crib, we're going to make sure that you are definitely in there for getting the treats of your life over here. So, Cookie, thank you for
the number one word.
Yeah, she's already ready. Like, hold on, Lambo, I hear my name out there.
I hear my name. I'm showing up at your door.
Yes. So, any last words out there for those out there who've been probably sitting on the fence that you would love to share from the heart to really being able to help them change their lives?
You know, I've been on this land journey personally for 15 years, but I actually grew up watching my parents invest in land. And I never paid attention to what they did until, you know, I guess it kind of came full circle and life brought me to land banking. And they are retired and put me through college because of the land that they bought. It's a real deal. And they didn't do it through a company that, excels in it. They just did it on their own and got very lucky. And yeah, they made some mistakes along the way. And the beautiful thing is when you work with a company who knows what they're doing, who has the expertise, it's just a phenomenal opportunity. And so for people out there who are really looking to continue to grow their wealth in big ways, then land can definitely help you do that. And if you don't have the money, maybe you know someone who does. I'd love to pay you the referral fees so that you can begin to build up your own bank account and buy a property for yourself at some point. So spread the love, spread the joy, everyone. It's my joy to be here today with Lambo, with all of you guys. I'm happy to chat more with anyone who wants to get in on this opportunity.
And that is the way you close this thing out. Back here on the Leverage Show again. Marcella, you have did an amazing job of presenting an opportunity that can help change so many lives out there. And we truly want to thank you and Rick for coming back to this Leverage Show and blessing so many people with the opportunity to help change their destinies. Thank you so much for explaining that.
My joy, and thank you so much, Lambo. Just your energy, your magnetic. Just your introduction is all the reason to come on here.
Hey,
like, you need to get a pump up, talk to Lambo.
hey, you're gonna get that and then some. You come around here talking with Lambo. We're gonna make sure that we continuously to keep that energy at one level only every time you bless this stage or this podcast, because that's what we do around here on the Leverage Show. You know, spreading the wealth and showing the love out there. Mm-hmm. Now, literally, me and Marcella have really went on ahead and had some amazing conversations with y'all for over an hour now, almost 90 minutes. Now, for those who are out there, we're asking you to take this next challenge and put the ball back in your hands and allow yourself to make the play in the winning shot for your life. Literally, the information is right there on the screen for those who really want to go to that next level and take advantage of this amazing opportunity and connect with this amazing power couple, or Marcella and Rick. You guys don't want to miss this opportunity. Again, dirtisgold.com/referred webinar/ will help you get to that webinar and help you begin to start changing your life. I'm so thankful today that you joined. Truly appreciate you, Marcella and Rick. Can't wait to see y'all come back, but can't wait to see how many more millionaires that we are getting ready to make with this amazing team out there, especially for those who want to join this journey. We truly thank y'all and we love y'all for definitely tapping into another edition of the Leverage Show. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell of the Lambo Drew TMT Show right here on YouTube and all other platforms. Make sure you guys are following our amazing team and connecting with them right there at dirtisgold.com/referred webinar. Connecting with them, reach out, get a call, get trained by them as well, and allow them to go on ahead and take your life to the next level. As I tell my wife all the time, face forward, don't look at me, because things are definitely greater in your forward mirror than they are behind you. I truly thank you guys for everything, and we are definitely out of here till next time. Me, Lambo Drew, and Marcella Silva right here on the Leverage Show. We out of here, y'all. Take care. God bless. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Take care.